Tonight, a legal battle that could change government accountability in Belize. A former ombudsman takes the state to court, claiming the office charged with protecting citizens has been denied the independence it was promised. Also tonight, after a major victory at the Caribbean Court of Justice, social activist Jeremy Enriquez renews his challenge to Belize's electoral map, arguing the country can no longer hold elections using boundaries drawn more than 20 years ago. And concerns over transparency are growing. Calls for a forensic investigation at the Ministry of Defense are intensifying as questions about oversight, funding, and political influence move into the spotlight. Plus, Garifuna voices rise in solidarity. Demonstrators march through Belize City, condemning what they describe as the displacement of Garifuna communities from ancestral lands in Honduras. And in the north, a community still in shock. Just 24 hours after a brutal machete killing claimed the life of a beloved villager, police make an arrest. From watchdogs and voting rights to justice and human rights, the story shaping Belize tonight starts right now.
He skipped nights out, said maybe next time too often. Ramen became a lifestyle, all for this moment, his first car. Protect what you've worked for with RF&G Motor Insurance.
The next station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world, Mexican Caribbean. Do you know why we are the capital of vacations? Because no other place on earth brings together so many ways to vacation in one single destination. Every vacation imaginable. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, July 14th. I am Sabrina Daly. A constitutional showdown that could redefine the independence of one of Belize's key oversight institutions is now before the courts. A former ombudsman is now asking the court to decide whether government crossed a constitutional line. Retired Major Gilbert Suazo has filed a claim against the government of Belize, arguing that the state failed to honor the terms and conditions attached to the office of the ombudsman. But Suazo says the issue goes even deeper. He alleges that government chose not to renew his appointment in retaliation for a ruling he made against the state in a sensitive Freedom of Information matter. Today, that legal fight officially began moving through the courts, with timelines now set ahead of a trial scheduled for November 20th.
Today basically was the first date that initiated the official constitutional case that I had filed against the Attorney General of Belize. So today was the case management. And during the case management, respective dates were set where, in the first instance, the Office of the Attorney General is required to make a response by this Friday. And then subsequently, we need to certainly rebut and respond by the 7th of August, and it continues the response and rebuttal until the trial date, which is set for the 20th of November 2026 of this year. Certainly, there are a number of issues that are within this case, primarily the issue as it relates to the independence of the office of the Ombudsman. That is a case which we believe is very critical for justice, for transparency, and for accountability within the country of Belize. And so the independence of the office of the Ombudsman must remain as stipulated by the Constitution and the Ombudsman Act. And also other issues that deals with the apparent violation of the apparent violation of Constitution.
Suazo believes the government's decision not to renew his appointment in December 2025 was punishment. When a citizen has a complaint against the system, the Ombudsman's office is supposed to be one place to turn. But that office has been vacant for months, and social activist Jeremy Enriquez says the delay is more than administrative. It is a denial of justice. Enriquez is now taking the government of Belize to court over its failure to appoint a new ombudsman. Former Ombudsman, retired Major Gilbert Suazo, supports the challenge and is urging Belizeans to rally behind it.
Certainly, Mr. Enriquez is exercising a right which I believe every Belizean should be concerned and to join, because it is, to my view, important to have such a constitutional office open and available for vulnerable people in particular to access. We all know how difficult it is economically. So if you are now asking vulnerable people who are challenged to get any finances to get a case resolved, I believe that that is not fair and that is not justice that is being given to those people. So I personally applaud Mr. Enriquez's effort, and I believe that every Belizean should join hands and come on deck with what Mr. Enriquez is doing at this time.
Enriquez says he is challenging the prolonged vacancy to ensure this is never repeated in the future. Hundreds of Belizeans will soon register or transfer ahead of the March 2027 municipal elections. But while the election machinery moves forward, the boundaries remain stuck in the past. Social activist Jeremy Enriquez says Belize cannot continue holding elections on maps designed more than 2 decades ago, especially after his legal team secured a landmark victory at the Caribbean Court of Justice in the 2025 redistricting case. With the map still unchanged, Enriquez is now pressing to stop another election from being held under boundaries many argue offend the Constitution. News 5's Shane Williams reports.
Jeremy Enriquez and his attorney senior counsel Anand Ramlogan can breathe a little easier tonight. The Caribbean Court of Justice has ruled in their favor, dismissing a wasted costs order that Justice Tawanda Hondoura had issued against them.
That was the most ridiculous, shameful, and disgraceful kind of revenge that the judge was trying to make in order to try to have him not practice in Belize and to discredit him. So the court threw that out.
Still, one legal win does not erase the imbalance. Some constituencies, including Stan Creek West, Belmopan, and Belize Rural South, now carry more than 10,000 registered voters, while others, such as Fort George, Mesopotamia, and Queen Square, have fewer than 3,000. The primary argument from government officials against Enriquez's petition at the time was its timing.
If these people knew that that's what they wanted to do, they could have done it a long time ago. I think they started to do this, I believe, just trying to get attention when they're starting to hear that we are going to call elections.
The general election proceeded with a commitment from the Prime Minister that government would proceed with redistricting by the end of 2025. At the end of 2025, that target changed.
It is something that will be done next year, and it will be finished by the end of 2026.
Halfway through 2026, there has been no evidence that the redistricting process is underway, and another election is fast approaching.
The Prime Minister, we hope this time, after several repeated promises, we hope that this time his promise has some measure of integrity. He took responsibility for the past failures. He had promised that by the end of 2025, redistricting could be done, and if not, by the end of 2026. We are more than halfway of 2026, and we hope that it will be completed as he said it will.
And if the Briseno administration does not deliver the long-awaited and promised redistricting exercise before the municipal election in March, the legal cycle will repeat itself.
We will pursue this matter in court to establish in the courts that this cannot be repeated. This violation of the supreme law by rogue political parties cannot be repeated, and they must respect and abide by the Constitution as they swore to uphold.
Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
Social activist Jeremy Enriquez is welcoming a recent Caribbean Court of Justice ruling that clarifies how appeals should be filed in Belize and how wasted costs orders should be handled. The CCJ ruled in Enriquez's favor on 2 of 3 appeals tied to his challenge of Belize's electoral boundaries. The court found that his notice of appeal was valid. It also overturned an order that would have forced senior counsel Anand Ramlogan to personally pay part of the government's legal costs, saying he was not given proper notice or a fair chance to respond. But the CCJ dismissed a 3rd appeal linked to an ex parte order from the High Court. The court said Enriquez should have first asked the High Court to vary or discharge that order before appealing. Enriquez says the judgment is encouraging because it pushes the High Court to focus more on the merits of cases rather than shutting them down on legal technicalities.
We feel that there was a serious misconduct by the judge when he discussed our case during the lunch break before we had completed our submissions. As a result of our calling out the judge for his misconduct, he went ahead to issue a wasted cost in wanting my attorney to pay half the state's legal fees. He issued there was also the issue of our filing for an appeal. They went to the technicality to try to say that we did not file properly because there was a problem. The registrar did not sign the appeal. And we contested that, and the Caribbean Court of Justice overruled the Court of Appeal on the wasted cost.
While the ruling does not decide the electoral boundaries case itself, it marks an important legal win for Enriquez and his legal team. Coming up, were some companies created to cash in on government contracts? Why many of the firms at the center of the controversy emerged after the Briseno administration took office.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "Blessed be God, even the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and the God of all comfort, who comforteth us in all our tribulation, that we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble by the comfort wherewith we ourselves are comforted of God." Father Damien went to work with the lepers in the South Pacific. He was the only healthy man on the island of lepers. But one morning as he was pouring boiling water into a pot, some of it splashed on his feet. He did not feel any pain. Since one of the signs of leprosy is a lack of feeling, he now knew in that moment that he too was a leper. The next time he stood in the pulpit, he began his sermon with these words, "My fellow lepers." In ministering to them, he took on their infirmities and suffering. We draw our greatest strength in our hours of suffering and our times of trouble from those who have trod the path ahead of us and drawn from that inexhaustible fountain of God's grace and mercy. The messages of hope and comfort I seek to bring to you comes from a life that has drawn deeply from the well of God's comfort due to my own struggles with pain and suffering. It was after one of these experiences a friend once said, "I have always trusted you, but now having seen you go through what you have gone through, I trust you even more." God comforts us that we might comfort others. May God help us draw more from Father Damien, but more importantly from the God of Father Damien, the God of all comfort. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Lobster Fest weekend is here. The crowd is ready, the boats are ready, and the energy starts now. Next up, Key Cocker. Food, music, crowds, island vibes. Ride with San Pedro Belize Express Water Taxi for a smooth, reliable trip straight into the heart of Lobster Fest. Book ahead with the app, skip the check-in line, and get to Lobster Fest faster. San Pedro Belize Express Water Taxi, your official ride to Key Cocker Lobster Fest.
The next station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
The competition has officially begun. 12 incredible contestants took the stage on night 1, but the journey continues. And for 2 contestants, it all comes to an end. Who will survive the first elimination and move one step closer to the KTV The Remix Season 8 title? Join us Tuesday, July 14th at 8 p.m. at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts for another unforgettable night of music, entertainment, and excitement. Get your tickets today at the Greater Belize Media Office on Coney Drive or at ATH Shopping Center. Come cheer on your favorite contestant, be a part of the live audience, and witness the next chapter of the competition unfold. Don't miss KTV The Remix Season 8, only on GBM.
My name is Ernest Miralda, and I'm 43 years old. I have lived in Monkey River Village most of my life. This is the place I grew up and where my family lives. When I was young, we had a big beach in front of the village. We had to walk quite a distance to reach the sea. There were 2 more rows of houses and then the beach. It was a free childhood in a beautiful community. I was about 12 or 13 when I realized the sea was taking the land. The sea just keeps eating the land. We had a big football field in front of the cemetery, and all of that is now gone. When we saw it getting closer to the school, that's when we realized how serious it was. In 2017, the cemetery where my grandmother was buried began to be taken by the sea. Her tomb slowly slipped into the water. The village was very concerned. People came together and started filling sandbags. It helped for a little while, but the erosion continued. Monkey River and neighboring communities came together to build a small seawall to protect some of the more vulnerable homes. The sea took my childhood home. Some families had to break down their houses and rebuild further back in the village. In my lifetime, we've lost at least 200 feet. Seeing the work done by the Ministry of Rural Transformation to protect the shoreline gives us hope. For my family and the whole community, it means protecting our home. Monkey River is special. We want our children and their children to grow here just like we did. We just want to preserve our community.
The Ministry of Rural Transformation continues to work with communities like Monkey River to protect livelihoods, strengthen resilience, and preserve Belize's coastal villages for generations to come.
A land dispute in Honduras is now echoing here in Belize. This morning, the National Garifuna Council took to the streets of Belize City in a peaceful protest, standing in solidarity with Garifuna families in San Juan, Atlantida, who say they are being pushed off ancestral lands through military intimidation and displacement. For Belize's Garifuna community, the issue hits close to home, not only because of shared culture and history, but because many families have direct ties across the border. Now, the NGC is calling on the government of Belize to take the matter up with Honduran authorities and urging the Honduran ambassador to help push for a peaceful resolution. News 5's Brittany Gordon was at this morning's protest and has the story.
We are one people. That's right. So you touch one, you touch all. Touch one. Touch all.
Drums and chants rang through Belize City this morning as more than 200 people marched in support of Garifuna families in Honduras. Organized by the National Garifuna Council, the demonstration called on Belizeans and the government of Belize to stand with the Garinaga of San Juan, Atlantida, who say military personnel have forced families off ancestral lands they have occupied for generations. Protesters say the fight is not just over land, it's about culture, identity, and survival.
At the beginning, we were scared because they were armed with rifles and guns, as if they were going to war. But they are just trying to rob 150 families of their land. So we said, no way. We are staying here.
Now Garinaga from across the globe are speaking out, voicing their concerns to the public and making it clear that the battle of one is the battle of all. NGC Assistant Treasurer Ifashina Efinyami says the pain runs deep. According to her, today's land fight is tied to a dark history dating back to 1937. Where over a dozen Garinaga were killed in the same community they are now being pushed out of.
What happens to any one of us happens to all of us, essentially. That is our fundamental principle as a people. And so we are joining with them to show that they are not alone. And these are our relatives. These are people that we are connected to by DNA. We had many Garinaga who fled from that very community back in 1937 as a result of a massacre by the government, right? And so this threat, when we saw the videos coming out of San Juan last week, you saw military, strong, very strong and aggressive military presence in San Juan. And all our people could do was lift up their phones.
Following the protest, members of the NGC met with the Honduran ambassador to deliver a letter outlining their discontent with the situation and call for justice.
That's a letter that we wrote to the ambassador to present to the president of Honduras, expressing our discontent with what is taking place, reminding him that we do not want history to repeat itself, and also imploring on him to respect the rule of law, to respect the conventions that have been passed that protect our rights or traditional spaces, and to alert him that Belize is paying attention and the international community is paying attention. So it is in their best interest to do what is proper.
At the brief meeting, Ambassador Carmen Scarlett Ayonera assured the council that the letter would be delivered and promised to provide updates on the situation.
Rest assured, I will present this document to the President
of Honduras, Nasir Azura, for him to do his work and for him to also recognize what is happening in Honduras. We, as Hondurans represented here in this country, we received this document with regards to your Garifuna community, as our friends, as our colleagues, as also as Hondurans.
As for now, the Honduran government has approved the development of a large-scale tourism project on the country's Atlantic coast, on land that has been inhabited by the Garifuna community for more than 2 centuries. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
The Auditor General's office is now being asked to follow a money trail that may test the very limits of its power. An investigation into the Ministry of Defense was launched after repeated payments just under $10,000 raised alarms inside government. But the probe has since widened, reaching back to 2015 and crossing political administrations. Now, the bigger question is not only what auditors will find, but whether they have the independence, resources, and authority to go wherever the evidence leads. With critics calling for a forensic investigation and long-standing concerns about political pressure and limited funding resurfacing, one of Belize's most important audits is now under the national microscope. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
With corruption allegations hanging over the Ministry of Defense, the Office of the Auditor General is now carrying out one of the most significant audits in recent history, examining how the ministry managed its finances.
When we saw these continuous payments under 10,000, obviously it raises questions and it raises an alarm, and that is why I called the Financial Secretary to send the Auditor General to take a look at what's going on.
As Prime Minister John Briceño revealed 2 weekends ago, the Auditor General's office says its review will go beyond the financial transactions of the current administration.
The Auditor General is also going to be auditing all the way to 2015. And so we're going to find what John Saldivar was doing then.
The broader timeline is now putting pressure on the Auditor General's office, with many wondering whether it can wrap up the investigation within the original 3-month window. The opposition leader Tracy Panton has called for an independent audit.
It has to be addressed, in my view, by an independent and forensic audit, not only on those ministries and departments that now we have information, but it is a systemic, in my view, systemic infractions.
The Auditor General's office is meant to operate independently. The Constitution of Belize establishes the post. The Governor General makes the appointment. And the Finance and Audit Reform Act protects the office from outside influence. But that independence is now being questioned after the President of the Public Service Union accused oversight bodies, including the Auditor General's office, of showing signs of political motivation.
These appointments, unfortunately, they now are all political, and nobody that is appointed to this office seem to have the best interests of this country at heart, and simply have their personal interests at heart and their party's interests at heart to collect one stipend and pretty much to protect the status quo.
The Finance and Audit Reform Act gives the Auditor General far-reaching powers. On paper, the Auditor General's office has significant reach. It can ask public officers to account for their actions and review almost any official record. But while the law gives the office broad access, past experiences show that getting the work done has not always been smooth, with delays and other hurdles often standing in the way.
The executive says to my staff, I'm not available, or they simply don't respond, and then I don't have where to go. Where do I go to say they don't want to make themselves available? So I think that is very important to highlight, that this point, separate and distinct from the Parliament, the executive has to make themselves available to answer queries from the Office of the Auditor General.
But is it then your position that I'm hearing that this remains an ongoing issue as you proceed with your auditing duties in terms of live issues?
It is an ongoing issue.
The Auditor General's office is expected to track how government spends billions of public dollars. Yet, the office itself operates on just over $3 million, making it one of the least funded entities in the national budget.
The Auditor General is starting to compile all the information. The CEO has assured me, CEO Usher, that they're cooperating to the full extent, and the Auditor General will do a full investigation. And if there was any wrongdoing, be it public officers or politicians, they will have to answer.
As the Ministry of Defense procurement scandal widens, attention is now shifting from the allegations themselves to the watchdog now assigned to investigate them. Can the Office of the Auditor General conduct a truly independent and thorough review? Or will old concerns about capacity and credibility get in the way? Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
And tonight, as we continue examining how effective Belize's oversight bodies really are, we hear from someone who once led one of them. Former Ombudsman retired Major Gilbert Suazo says the office sits near the bottom of government's annual budget. But the law does allow the Ombudsman to request additional funding. The concern, he says, is what happens after that request is made. Suazo argues that extra funding is often approved only when it fits government's own priorities. And that, he warns, can weaken the independence of investigations meant to hold the system accountable.
There are severe constraints. However, you may be aware that the Ombudsman Act also makes provision for the Ombudsman, in this case, in particular, to make submission to request for additional funds if and when needed, particularly as it relates to the investigation of cases. The challenge is not necessarily the request, because we can make a request, but there are occasions when you make that request and that submission would fall on deaf ears. So that is where the challenge lies, because as I indicated earlier, the Ombudsman Act makes provision for the Ombudsman to be able to request for additional resources or finance when needed. But in my experience, there have been occasions when those requests fall on deaf ears. So that is where the problem and challenges are. So in terms of the independence of the office, while the Ombudsman Act and the Constitution state that you take no executive direction, no direction from any executive authority, there is that need to get the support from the Ministry of Finance, whether through the Financial Secretary, in this case, or through the National Assembly. That is not their focus. Your focus is not their focus. So that is where the challenge lies.
Were some companies formed to cash in on government contracts? That is the question now emerging from the Ministry of Defense procurement scandal. A growing number of businesses linked to the controversy were established after the Bersenio administration came into office. PSU President Dean Flowers says the timing points to a troubling pattern, one that may suggest insider knowledge, political connections, and a procurement system titled in favor of select newcomers.
The first thing that you have to look at, the first thing that the public has to examine is, what is the registration and establishment date of the business? Okay, 2022. Is it a related party transaction? Yes, no, yes. Okay, so this signals that somebody had insider information. Why? We need certain goods and services. Create a company, submit a bid, and we'll ensure that you get the bid or that you get part of the bid. I have been saying this since I took office in 2021. I've been asking this question. Let's see who will be the new millionaires. You could check your news archives. Who will be the new millionaires under this administration, especially where the pharmaceutical mafia is concerned? That's why I said it would appear that most companies that are formulated after general elections can and will never survive without government, because that is where the connect happens.
And while there is no tangible evidence to support these claims, Flowers insists that these timelines must also form part of the ongoing audit. Still ahead, a Belize City murder case falls apart in court while the judge set Andre Arthurs free.
Are you looking for financing on equipment, machinery, vehicles, parts, or tools for you or your business? Benquip and Belize Bank have partnered to make purchasing easier than ever with Belize Bank's convenient online loan application platform. Simply apply online, get fast and secure financing, and access the equipment or vehicle you need to keep moving forward. Even better, use the promo code when applying and enjoy a special promotional interest rate exclusively for Benquip customers. Whether you're upgrading your fleet, investing in new machinery, or purchasing essential parts and equipment, now is the perfect time to make it happen. Visit Benquip today and ask about Belize Bank online loan financing.
Insurance fact. Did you know with Home Protector Insurance, home and property insurance does not only cover hurricane and fire? Your lifetime investment will also be protected from explosions, water damage, malicious damage, and more. So you can rest easy knowing your home is protected. Visit any Home Protector Insurance office near you to learn more.
Every day, the demand on your business get higher. More productivity, better equipment, and reliable support to keep up with a fast-moving world. At Cellular World Business Solutions, we're ready to help you boost performance across every operation. Don't let outdated technology hold you back. With our certified and supported solutions, your business stays ahead. We supply office equipment, printers, inks, and toners, software licenses, IT system assembly as your Dell Platinum and Cisco partner, appliances, and custom orders tailored to your needs. From startups to large enterprises and renowned institutions, we serve every corner of the country because no industry can afford to fall behind on technology. Let's take your business to the next level. Contact us today at 610-2494. Cellular World Business Solutions, your reliable partner in business success.
He skipped nights out. Said maybe next time too often. Ramen became a lifestyle. All for this moment, his first car. Protect what you've worked for with RF&G Motor Insurance.
The biggest football event in the world is finally here, and Smart is giving you the chance to play and win. Before every match starts, predict who will win. The more predictions you make, the more chances you have to win. Get 1 point towards your total when you guess the winning team. Predict the exact score and earn up to 4 points. The top scorer at the conclusion of the World Cup wins the grand prize of $2,500 in cash. That's not all. Players get a chance to win weekly prizes. Plus, our quarterfinal winner gets a watch party package. Play directly in the Smart app for just 50 cents per entry. Prediction starts June 1st to July 18, 2026. Don't just watch the World Cup. Play along and win with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
The quiet farming community of San Lazaro is still reeling from the shocking killing of one of its own. Just a day after 68-year-old Virginio Carrillo was ambushed and fatally chopped while riding his bicycle, police say they have already made an arrest. Investigators believe Carrillo was traveling along a road near a cane field on Monday morning when his attacker emerged from nearby bushes and launched the deadly assault. Though a suspect is now in custody, no charges have been filed. Carrillo's death has sent waves of grief through the village, where he was known as a hard-working resident and active community member, prompting an outpouring of condolences from local leaders and government officials. 28-year-old Andre Arthurs is free tonight after the High Court acquitted him of the March 2025 murder of Mark Usher Jr. in Belize City. Usher, 33, was shot and killed at the corner of Jabiru Street and Faubers Road. Arthurs, a construction worker from the Faubers Road area, had been accused of carrying out the deadly shooting. But Justice Nigel Pilgrim ruled that the prosecution's case fell short, mainly because of questions over identification. The Crown relied heavily on the testimony of interdiction police officer Lawrence Martinez, who said he saw a man in a blue shirt riding away on a motorcycle, on a bicycle that is, shortly after the shooting. Martinez later identified Arthurs during a group identification procedure. Justice Pilgrim said that while Martinez appeared credible, the identification process was not reliable enough. The court heard no evidence that the other men in the group resembled Arthurs in height, complexion, age, or appearance. The judge said those gaps left too many unanswered questions. The court also noted that police did not swab Arthurs' hands for gunshot residue and presented no DNA evidence, no firearm, no search warrant for the alleged blue shirt, and no clear evidence about what happened to the bicycle the suspect reportedly abandoned. Justice Pilgrim said the Crown had a duty to prove that Martinez's identification was reliable. Without that, the court could not be sure that Arthurs was the shooter. Arthurs denied any involvement. He told the court he was at home barbecuing with friends when the gunshots rang out. With no other matters before the court, Arthurs walked out a free man as relatives waited outside. Usher's mother was also present in court but left shortly after the not guilty verdict. Arthurs was represented by attorney Simeon Sampson. Our news team stumbled upon an unexpected confrontation yesterday while covering another story in Mesopotamia. A field visit by an Elections and Boundaries Department registration officer turned contentious, with UDP's Brian Yellowman Audinet at the center of the dispute. Now, questions are being raised about whether his actions could have consequences. Shane Williams reports.
And you see what she call? And your husband just set up there? None of them live there just now. So how they were going to register people there?
We happened upon one of those voter registration disputes while in Mesopotamia, right at the corner of Iguana and Bocatora streets. UDP operative Brian Yellowman Audinet stepped in to challenge what he believed was an unlawful registration taking place. But Chief Elections Officer Josephine Tamai says there are established channels for raising those concerns, and taking matters into your own hands isn't one of them. Tamai says to file an objection, the elector shall deliver to the registering officer a notice of objection in Form 14A of the Representation of the People Act, stating the grounds for the objection. This must be done by the 25th of the month. Thereafter, a revision court will be held before the end of the month, where the revising officer, who is the magistrate, will hear the case and make a determination if the name is to remain or be removed from the list. But Audinet chose to intervene directly.
That nothing happened. That never happened under my watch.
While Audinet says he stepped in to stop what he believed was an illegal voter registration, a crime punishable by a fine or even jail time, his own actions may now be attracting scrutiny as a possible violation of the law. The Chief Elections Officer says the department is taking the matter seriously, since no member of the public should interfere with the work of registering officers. Any person who wishes to object must follow the process for objections, as the process is clearly written in the Representation of the People's Act, and action will be taken against anyone who interferes or obstructs officers from carrying out their duties.
We're not registered nobody here like that. We're not going. No illegal registration here.
For many observers, the issue transcends party lines. They say both parties are guilty of the practice and both should be held accountable. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
Up next, they're swapping screens for fishing rods. How one summer camp is teaching kids to love the sea and protect it.
Look here, your kitchen light there and you've been in the kitchen.
But I'm going back in there right now.
And the coffee maker?
Just to try to keep my coffee warm for later.
Where do you know?
I'll try to think about what to eat.
You know, the more you open and close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool. For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You charge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 Lee socks and 1 Lee shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
Rev up your engines at Puma Energy and get ready for an exciting chance to fuel, fill, and win. For every $30 purchase on fuel, a liter of lubricant, or $10 at Super 7, get a ticket to win one of 20 fuel prizes of $1,000. And here's the thrill. Fill up with Premium Clean Tech Pro and double your chances of winning. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Head to Puma Energy and Super 7 today for your chance to fuel, fill, and win.
He skipped nights out. Said maybe next time too often. Ramen became a lifestyle. All for this moment, his first car. Protect what you've worked for with RF&G Motor Insurance.
Every dollar you save today is a seed for tomorrow. Let your dreams take root and grow. Belize Bank, your future, our commitment.
Stay connected in the USA for as low as $10. With Smart Roaming Data Pass, staying connected is simple and affordable. Get the data you need starting at 1,000 megabytes to stay connected to larger plans that keep you online while you travel across the USA. So you can message, browse, video call, and navigate wherever you go. No SIM swap, no bill shock. Just simple, affordable pricing. Activate easily by dialing *100# using the Smart app or online. Smart Roaming Data Pass. Staying connected the smart way. Smart, bringing people together.
For months, drivers in the Belize River Valley have been navigating traffic bottlenecks at the Sebastian and Bermudan landing bridges, with many asking why the work appears to be moving so slowly. While frustration is growing among commuters who say they have seen little visible progress, government engineers insist the project remains on schedule and involves far more than meets the eye.
We have a contract with Cayo Steel. They're doing the rehabilitation of two bridges in the River Valley, the Sebastian and also the Bermudan Landing Bridge. Both structures have two different lanes, in and out. And so we are rehabilitating those structures to try and see how best we could extend the design life for those structures. We have asked the contractor to work on one side at a time, and hence one side has been removed from each bridge structure, while he does the sandblasting and the maintenance work on each one. That project is expected to last 18 months. And so yes, we just started in March, but we still have a long time to go to rehabilitate those structures. Those structures have been there for quite a long time, and no maintenance has been done, or very little. And so we took the initiative to try and see how best we could upgrade those structures. And so we just asked the public's patience with us. It will take a while for us to complete them because each structure has to be removed and each member has to be sandblasted, painted, and then put back in place. So we understand that there's a number of villages back there and there are a number of tourism areas. However, we have liaised with these villages with our personnel that we have on site to inform them of the scope of work. The area rep is also aware of the scope of works for that area.
Moody says his ministry is doing the best it can with the resources it has. Belize's ability to monitor conditions at sea just received a major boost with the addition of 3 state-of-the-art marine monitoring stations. The equipment donated by the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology will provide real-time data on weather, ocean conditions, and marine activity at key locations across the country. Officials say the new technology will strengthen forecasting capabilities, support disaster preparedness efforts, and enhance the monitoring of Belize's coastal and marine environment. News 5's Brittany Gordon has details, more on the new equipment and how it will benefit Belize.
From hurricanes and rough seas to changing ocean temperatures, Keeping watch over Belize's waters is becoming more important than ever. Now the National Meteorological Service is strengthening that effort with the donation of 3 state-of-the-art marine monitoring stations that will provide real-time data from some of the country's most critical marine areas. Chief Meteorologist Ronald Gordon says the equipment will enhance Belize's capacity to provide more early warning systems to the public and build resilience, particularly in coastal communities.
The project will assist us to enhance our monitoring capabilities within the marine environment. Many persons know that we have a vast network of weather stations on the mainland, and we do have a few offshore in the Keys, but these stations currently only monitor atmospheric variables, pressure, your air temperature, and wind, and that type of thing. We knew that we have a gap in terms of monitoring oceanic variables, and these stations will assist us to do so.
The equipment was donated by the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology. It is valued at $66,000, with funding for the project coming from the European Union through the Caribbean Development Bank. CIMH mission lead, Courtney Ford, explains how this project strengthens the region's hurricane prediction capacity.
So this buoy project is just another step in that direction into monitoring the marine space and maybe improving models, improving hurricane prediction and so on. So just a bit about the project. It's the strengthening institutional capacity for a resilient Caribbean, coastal, and marine environment. That's the name of the project. Essentially, it has 6 components. This component is the marine aspect. It also has components including air quality, climate prediction modeling, climate and health, knowledge exchange, as well as hazard prediction.
The National Meteorological Service is considering installing the stations in 3 key stations: Glover's Reef, English Key, and the southern Turneff Atoll. At the handing over, technicians and stakeholders such as the Belize Port Authority, the Turneff Atoll Marine Reserve TASA, and the Fisheries Department received training on the use and installation of the equipment.
Many of our stakeholders, including you all here today, have been requesting improvement in our marine services for a long time. I know the Port Authority, for one, relies on our forecast, and I see Mr. Brown from WCS, who sometimes would want to use or some of the available satellite imagery, but now, Mr. Brown, you will have on-the-ground observations for sea surface temperature and many other variables. And these information and the observations that we will be collecting will increase our capacity on a whole in Belize to observe our marine environment and strengthen our early warning systems, but overall improve the weather, ocean, and climate information that we provide to you all.
Each station is outfitted with solar-powered satellite-linked weather buoys, floats, moorings, anchors, and a range of integrated sensors. The advanced equipment will enable meteorologists to continuously monitor key marine and atmospheric conditions, including wave activity, sea surface temperatures, wind patterns, and atmospheric pressure. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
This summer, more than 30 children from the Caribbean Shores constituency are trading screen time for fishing lines. At a week-long camp at Dolphin Park, young participants are learning practical fishing skills while discovering the importance of protecting Belize's marine environment. Sponsored by Area Representative Kareem Musa, the program aims to give children more than just a fun vacation activity. Organizers hope it leaves them with valuable life lessons and a deeper connection to nature.
The main goal of my class is to teach them a better appreciation of the environment we have here. You know, part of the best way to experience the environment is to go out and enjoy it, and fishing is one of the best ways to do it.
So today is the first day of the Caribbean Shores Fishing Camp for youths between the ages of 6 and 12 years old. It's an exciting summer camp for us because, as you know, Caribbean Shores is a community that has the coastline, the wonderful coastline, all the way from Buttonwood Bay all the way up to BTL Park. And so it's an opportunity for our children to take advantage of this experience. We have a well-known fishing trainer this morning to guide them from the very start of how to hook a line and attach the sinker and cast your line and cast a net. And so it's the full experience of fishing. Growing up in Caribbean shores, I can safely say that that was one of the greatest memories that I had as a young boy, going to, yes, in the drain, catching pupsi, and thereafter throwing the line out by Rock Park and catching some even bigger fish. So it truly is a wonderful experience, and the kids are already having a great time this morning.
A key lesson shared at the camp surrounds what marine life should not be captured and how to safely remove these animals from the line and return them to the water. After the break, new details in the Jaguar Cubs saga. A friend who was there says the Cubs should never have been touched.
He skipped nights out, said maybe next time too often. Ramen became a lifestyle, all for this moment, his first car. Protect what you've worked for with RF&G Motor Insurance.
I've always been fascinated with gemstones. It's all about taking nature's beauty and creating something uniquely beautiful. I've had inspiration from the Belize Blue Bull, the beaches, the Jaguar. I've launched a new product called Co-Design with Deb, and Atlantic Bank's e-commerce system has opened the door to my international customers so I can receive payments so they can have their custom pieces shipped to them.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
We're ready for the road. We're ready for the road. So we're ready, yeah, we're ready, we're ready, yeah, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready. We're ready, we're ready, we're ready, yeah, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
The biggest football event in the world is finally here, and Smart is giving you the chance to play and win. Before every match starts, predict who will win. The more predictions you make, the more chances you have to win. Get 1 point towards your total when you guess the winning team. Predict the exact score and earn up to 4 points. The top scorer at the conclusion of the World Cup wins the grand prize of $2,500 in cash. That's not all. Players get a chance to win weekly prizes. Plus, our quarter-final winner gets a watch party package. Play directly in the Smart app for just 50 cents per entry. Prediction starts June 1st to July 18, 2026. Don't just watch the World Cup. Play along and win with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
A friend who was with the Stoll brothers during the now controversial jaguar cub encounter in Mountain Pine Ridge is speaking out. Leslie Penner told News 5 the group was bird watching when they spotted an adult jaguar and its cub near their vehicle. He says one of the brothers later touched the cub, calling the move unnecessary and reckless because it could have created a human-wildlife conflict. Still, Penner insists there was no malicious intent, pointing to the brothers' long history of conservation work in Belize. While he agrees that the cub should never have been touched, he believes their broader record of supporting wildlife protection should also be part of the conversation.
The mother abandoning the jaguar, not likely, but it's the stress that was brought onto it. But because we don't know, so sometimes these are what we call traditional ecological knowledge that they pass on to us. In captive environment, these youngs are not handled until mama bring them out for the public to see. Normally, what they do in zoological facility that breeds these animals is they monitor them through cameras so you can see how they're doing. And then eventually when they come out, when the mother feel that it's now safe for them to come out, they bring them out and the public get to see them. But handling them, definitely not recommended.
Leslie Penner says that he believes the nature in Belize is better now because of the Stoll brothers than it would have been without them. Belize's music community is mourning the loss of musician and producer Ken Doyle Simpson, professionally known as KS Beats, who lost his 2-year battle with cancer on Sunday. Simpson built a reputation as one of Belize's most respected music producers and audio engineers, with a career that spanned more than 2 decades. His work crossed genres and borders that helped form the sound of Belizean music, working with artists like Melanie Gillett, Ernestine Carballo, T.R. Shine, and Jackie Castillo, while collaborating with artists across the region. His sister Tiffany Simpson spoke with us about his passion for music and lasting legacy.
I do multiple things that involves the production of music. I do marketing for artists.
So
I do run a social marketing, social media marketing site.
Okay.
Which also helps artists go viral on YouTube and other social media. I also do mixing and mastering, which is a more technical, if you could see that picture right there, I was mixing a song that requires more like physics.
He started playing drums over 30 years ago. My mom taught him how to play the drums. And it's something that he took a liking to. I remember he used to play in church service and his foot couldn't touch the bass pedal. That's a tremendous amount of impact he has had. Not just here in Belize, but globally. You know, he has worked with some of the biggest names in the Caribbean. I know recently Oscar B had passed away. He had done some music with him as well. And it has, you know, every time I hear from him or I see him doing something, you know, it always reminds me of, you know, his drive to continue to refine what it is he was doing. He was never satisfied with you know, just what he was producing, and he always strive for that excellence, right? And that's what I admire the most about him. I just always want you all to remember him as the quiet, reserved musician who, you know, who would light up the stage, as the producer who, you know, carried that unique song whatever music he was producing or whatever project he was being a part of. He carried a unique flavor.
Ken Doyle Simpson kept working on projects until he was physically unable to do so. Though battling cancer, he remained active in the studio, helping create a Soca Monarch winning track earlier this year. He leaves behind a 10-year-old daughter. Belize's national men's volleyball team is one step closer to capturing gold at the Central American Men's Final Four tournament in San Jose, Costa Rica. After a hard-fought 5-set victory over Costa Rica and a straight sets win against Nicaragua, Team Belize remains in strong contention for the championship. Team captain Elton Anderson credits the squad's success to months of preparation, discipline, and a trust in the coaching staff's game plan. With matches against Panama and a championship showdown still ahead, the team says morale is high as players look to build on last year's second-place finish and bring home the tournament title. We spoke with Anderson earlier today to hear how the team is feeling as the match winds down.
We're doing great because of all the hard work that we have put in when we were back in Belize, the gym work and the work that the coaches have us do on the court. Game 1 versus Costa Rica was a nail biter. We won the first set, lost the second and the third. We won the fourth, and then we won the fifth. The second day, we had Nicaragua. We found our rhythm, and we trusted what the coach had implemented for our game plan. And the guys went out and executed, and we walked away yesterday with a 3-win victory over Nicaragua.
That's amazing. So how have you guys felt, given that you see the work that you guys are putting in and the strategy paying off?
Well, we feel extremely proud. We are so happy. The spirit is high. You know, everybody's in good spirit. We just came back from workout and all the guys are super happy. We're on a high. The job is not done. We all know that the job is not done. So we only have one foot in the door. We still have business to take care of today and tomorrow. Well, we feel super great, and we are extremely happy and thankful for all the support that we are given while we're here. Our family is behind us. We know that the country is behind us. I mean, after every game or before every game, or news or Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp feed is lighting up with all positivity. So it makes us want to go out and even want to do more, right? And we really want to come back with the goal, you know, and keep Belize on the volleyball map.
Belize remains in the hunt for gold as the Central American Men's Final Four heads into its final stages. Before we leave you, here's tonight's viewer's voice. On our first story, Belizeans stand in solidarity with displaced Garinagu in Honduras. Randy Jones commented, "We all need to support this initiative. Injustice anywhere should be addressed by all and sundry. Those same folks will have our back when injustice knocks on our door. Think about our pending judgment from The Hague." Turning to witness details, moments behind controversial Jaguar Cub incident, Carla Huchner shared. Surely there is a section of the Wildlife Protection Act, or should be such a protection, that would allow for the suspension of tour guide licenses and possible charges against those trying to interfere with wild animals. And finally, on Belizean music icon Ken Doyle Simpson dies after cancer battle. Ernestine Carballo shared, "He was a music genius, a walking music instrument filled with melodious melodies, rhythms, and tempo. A humble guy with a big smile whenever he was behind the keyboard creating a song or on his drums playing a song. He changed my life forever and gave me the international sound to pursue my dreams and music career. And for this, I am truly grateful. I will keep his memory alive through every song and stage performances." Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming and we'll continue to feature them right here. And That's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Also, don't miss the music, the excitement, and the Caribbean flair as KTV The Remix Season 8 continues tonight at 8 p.m. only on Greater Belize Media. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.